Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Fix. My name is Olayemi Olajide, CEO of the Market Food Shop. Today, I'll be having a conversation on business accounting with Ajibola Jinadu. Ajibola Jinadu is a financial accounting and reporting expert in Nigeria and the US. He has helped over 100 small businesses manage their financial and accounting concerns. He worked with Deloitte for a long time where he became manager before leaving. He's the founder of myCFOng, an innovative platform that offers financial and accounting services to Nigerian startups, SMEs, and individuals. He's a fellow of ACCA, ICANN, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. He has published several books, which I think you should go and check out, on several ebooks on business accounting, and he has over 12 years experience in this space. Hello, Ajibola. Thank you so much, because I know that you are such a busy man. So thank you so much for doing this. I know it's a huge sacrifice for you. So thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Olayemi. I'm happy to be here. Actually, this is any opportunity to actually spread the word, and it's good to see you again after
such a long time, Avi. Yeah. Good to see you as well. So I think, because I know I've already started asking you questions already, so I think we should just dive right into it. Please, can you share like 3 to 5 things entrepreneurs can do to keep their business afloat when struggling financially?
So it's one of those things where what I do is more of trying to find out why. I guess it's easy to say 3 to 5 things, but it might just be abstract because every situation is different with every business. So one of the first things to do is just do a deep dive and say why am I struggling financially? Is it that I'm not making enough money, or I'm spending too much from what I'm making? All of those things. So once you do a deep dive, then you'll be able to understand what exactly is the cause. And then, so your 3 to 5 things would then go into the heart of addressing that why. So if, for instance, you're not making enough, so it might be your location or your channels of distribution. So if you are, say, trying to sell something that requires physical movement of goods or interaction, and you're trying to sell it online, you might have a problem there. So, and then you might be like, okay, you're using the wrong channel to sell. Then, so you have to be like, okay, you know what? I need to get a physical space because this service, people need to see me. I know. Or maybe you are just doing it physical, but you need to go online so you can get more customers from more locations outside of just your area. Things like that would then determine how you do that. Then if it's then maybe you're spending so much, you have to look at your overhead costs. A lot of small businesses don't look at their overhead costs. It's very easy to say, I bought this thing 5 naira. I'm going to sell it for 7 naira. So I'm going to make a profit of 2 naira. But then they forget to add okay, I'm going to pay NEPA bills, I'm going to pay utilities, I'm going to pay all that. I'm going to pay all these things 4 naira. And then they just find out that they're struggling to make money. So it's just finding out why exactly. And then that informs the things that one can do to help stay afloat.
So the first thing is to first know what you need to find out exactly what's happening before you can then decide, okay,
yes,
this is how to go.
Yes.
That's how to go.
Yes.
Okay. Are there other ways? Because I say this because I've been there before. So can you think of, other ways entrepreneurs can raise capital other than taking loans or giving out equity?
So that's funny because those are literally the 2 textbook ways. Okay. Either you give out equity or you take debt. So a creative way for most people So also, even though I'm here as a financial expert, I'm also an entrepreneur myself.
Okay.
So it means that actually, and I started small, like, so it means that actually I'm feeling some of what I'm saying from experience rather than from being a consultant to small businesses. One creative way that most people go about is taking advances. So if I were to consult for a company, for a small business, and I don't have any money, and then we agree and say it's this amount, I can say, you know what, you give me 50% upfront. Mm-hmm. So that 50% upfront is already money that I'm using to work. And I see it a lot. I mean, not even just small businesses, up to a certain level of businesses, they will just ask for the advance. So they take that advance and start. Once somebody gives you money, I mean, you have a duty to deliver, but then you can literally take that money and do whatever you want to do with it. I mean, you're still indebted to do whatever you've been paid for, but then it's already money in your business that you know that, okay, it's coming, and if you deliver, it's never going out. So that's usually the most creative way to get that done. Otherwise, in itself, taking loans it's not a bad thing, okay, if you really know what you are taking the loan for and using it. So money makes money. So it's like a seed. You plant a seed, it makes more money. So I know loans have a bad rap in space, especially for small business. It has a bad rap, and for good reason too. But then if you are really sure that I take this money plus whatever I calculate the interest, I can invest it in this, my business is going to turn around this profit and all, then it's usually not a problem.
Because I've heard it said somewhere before that you don't take, I can't remember where I heard it, but I know I've heard it said before that you shouldn't take a loan to pay a loan. So I'm just thinking like, okay, maybe like because a small business that is struggling financially most likely already has debt.
Most likely.
Yeah. Do you understand? So they don't want to add they don't want to add to that. That's why I had to ask you that question, because like if someone comes to me really and tells me like I'm struggling financially with my business, the last thing I would want to tell you is to go and get a loan somewhere again to pay. So because I don't know if it's a thing, I don't know if it's the way we are made to think, or if it's because we as small businesses don't even try to do any form of research or anything. But people always think of resources. When you talk of resources, everybody's thinking money. Yeah. But what other valuable resources would you say business owners have that they should really turn to, especially when they are struggling or when they have financial difficulties?
So apologies, but of course I always have to go back to it, because I think usually that solves like 90% of the issues. It's always the why.
Okay.
Why are we struggling? Then so once you know the why, then it now gives you a plan of action. What do I do about it? So apart from financial resources, the most significant resource that anybody has actually is human resources. So you still need help from people that can help you navigate these tough times. So it will be as simple as getting someone that will give you things on credit, or people that can work for less, or you delay their payments, all of those things. But usually people around you, your community, can help get you out of such issues. And speaking of community, so if you are a SME doing a particular thing, chances are that there are other people in that space doing the same thing. So you can be part of that community and say, I need help. And they might not even give you financial resources directly, but you might get valuable advice as to, I had this problem before, this was how I handled it, or I couldn't get a loan because I was struggling, they're asking for all of these things, and this is an alternative and all. So human resources is very important. And given this day and age, technology is great. You can do a lot of things that almost for free, to the extent, like, instead of getting too many processes running, too many things that will bog down your business, you can automate as many things as possible. And new technology is coming out every day, and actually that space is very competitive.
Okay.
So once you see something out there today, like this, because somebody is looking for something that will make it better, faster. While you're working, somebody is working to make it better, faster, cheaper, all of those things. So yeah, small businesses should lean towards that too.
You mentioned two things now, like valuable resources, your community, that's human resource. Then you can also technology, yes. Okay, that'll be two things. Okay, I'll ask you a question we're having a conversation about, because while trying to like put questions together for this interview, I just, like I said, I googled bookkeeping online, and there was so much information, and it baffles me how there can be so much information but no action. So to me that just tells me that there's a mind block somewhere. So how come people are not doing anything with all the information, and what do you think can be done to move people from that level of not doing anything to actually doing something?
The main thing about it is bookkeeping, accounting, finance just has this rap of being boring, hectic, tedious. So people see the information and just be like, oh, yeah, okay, so what do you want me to do with this? It might make sense maybe when they're reading it, but then when it starts to get like bookkeeping is this completely separate activity in itself. Even in finance and accounting circles, bookkeeping is like even down there. But if you don't even keep your books, then there's nothing you really can. You have no information, more or less. So I feel that business owners that are serious about their business need to know the numbers, and I'll say that numbers tell a story. So you need to understand the story of your business. The sad part of it is, or which is the reality, is that somebody might be very good at, say, baking cakes, and then decides to start a business around baking cakes. When the business starts, you find that baking cakes will just be like a very small part of running a business. There's baking cakes and there's running a business, paying taxes, customer relations, supply chain, all of those things. And then you just find that you're responsible for everything. But what you really want to do is just bake cakes. Like, that's what you're good at. I know. So and the accounting tool is your problem and all of that. So I feel it's a bit overwhelming. There's a lot of information.
Very overwhelming.
And that's why people like me come out and say, okay, you know what, we can help you. All you just really need to understand is that you need to find a system that lets you know what your business is doing at every point in time. So it's not so much about the bookkeeping software or why bookkeeping is important and all of that. All those things will bog you down. So it's more about really understanding, okay, what do I really want to get out of this? I know. But yeah, it's actually tedious, I know. So I always usually recommend outsourcing.
And the problem with outsourcing is not like people don't want to outsource. Now everybody's thinking of the cost of outsourcing.
Yeah, so there's cost and there's value, or let me put it this way, there's cost and there's investment.
Okay.
But investment is really tied to the value, because you are looking at, I'm planting a seed to get some sort of return. So from my experience, like a recent one, I had someone reach out to me and she was complaining of how she's always broke. Her business is doing lots of things, but there's no money at the end. I know that their staff are stealing her money. They're diverting the trucks, blah, blah, blah. That she feels her business should be making like 40 million a month and all of that. And then I said, okay, let's look at your books. And there was nothing. So I got in, and then the shocking part is realized that she was doing about 80 million a month. She didn't even know.
Wow.
Because as money was coming in, she's like, I'm paying this, I'm paying that. She was doing 80 million. So she was even thinking she wasn't making up to 40. And we're talking about millions here. Even though we are still in SME category, we're talking about, that's still a lot of money. Her business was doing 80 million and she was not seeing anything at the end of end of it. Nobody was stealing her money, by the way, because she was the only one in charge of everything. Nobody has the account, nobody, all of that. So she thought she wasn't making up to that. She's not making ATM, and she wouldn't have known that until I came in, or I know.
Yeah.
So we started from there. Then we started looking at, okay, what do you spend money on? And then there's something we used to call body no be firewood expenses. So I
need to flex a bit, enjoy my life.
Exactly. So sometimes those a bit just pile up. So let's just say randomly, out of the 80 million, she was spending like 40 million just flexing, because the money is there. That somebody will just say, I need help with my child's school fees. Take. So all of those things then came into the fact that there was no money at the end of the day. And without me coming in and said, madam, see how much you're making. Mind blown. Like, okay, I'm making this much. Okay, what am I wasting it on then? Is this. Okay. Then she said, she was thinking of taking a loan because she was struggling financially. But meanwhile, there was so much within her business that, so she would have gone to take the loan, had all of that issues,
and
exactly, and get bogged down. I know. So for me, if you at that point, it's not your strong suit as a business owner, get someone in and see that money as investment, because now by paying me whatever I'm charging her, or people like me are charging her, she's now getting to save almost about 20 million a month. I'm definitely not charging her that 20 million that she's saving. Yeah. So she's seeing it as, if she sees it that, what of the cost and all of that, the truth is that it's just a business as a whole. And you have to be like, okay, how do I get the most value out of my business?
I feel like I have some of the answers to my next question, but I'll ask anyway. What habits, practices, or culture would you say that small business owners or entrepreneurs have or allow within their business that can trigger financial problems?
There are many things, but it boils down to one: indiscipline. That's all it is. Indiscipline is the major one.
Okay.
So and it is usually a result of there's this feeling just seeing money entering your account, not from your 9 to 5. Your 9 to 5 is usually your monthly. But once you become an entrepreneur, it's just bam, green. Like, so it just feels, you feel empowered. Like, what? Your 9 to 5 is okay. 25th it comes, depending on how much you're earning. But once you just switch to that business owner, like, money can come in at any time, which also means money can be spent at any time. I mean, it's not different from when you have a 9 to 5 and maybe salary comes sometimes. You hear most people say, within 2-3 days it has finished. Mainly because they already had a plan for what they were going to do with the money before it came in. Mm-hmm. But with your business owners, it just comes in at any time. It just means, this might be a good time to take a vacation. Exactly. There's all of those things happen. So it's that indiscipline. So that discipline has to happen, of saying that, you know what, I need to have a budget. And a budget, people also see budgeting as something that's so unnecessary, I know. And budgets, if I have to simplify it, budgets just mean you telling your money where you want it to go. Money will enter, money will go. No matter what you do, who you are, money would leave. But now your budget is you already saying that, I know you would leave, but this is where I want you to go. This is where I want you to go. And you already know, if I'm making this amount and I say I want my money to go to this place, this is what I'll have left. But then when you just get indisciplined and all of that, where whatever comes in goes wherever, then, so that is usually, it all boils down to, I mean, there are other things we can talk about, but I feel that financial indiscipline as a business owner, as a personal, whatever, if you don't have it, chances are you just be bogged down in all that. Yeah, my business is struggling, my finances are struggling.